folks, after a couple of weeks of part-time work, I'm almost on the home stretch mechanically with this car. I've got fresh brakes on the car, including new wheel bearings. The old brake calipers, I am going to cross my fingers on those for the moment. Hopefully they'll work. If not, you know what, I'll just get them reconditioned. I've got fresh dampers in the car. I've got the correct springs in the car. I've taken the steering rack out and I've replaced the boots, and I've also filled the steering rack with fresh lubricant, which is something that a lot of people overlook. So really all I've got to do is, well, I've got 3 wheels on the car, plonk the wheels on, get it back on the ground, and I hate doing this. Never works, does it? Get it back on the ground, and then I can start working on the rest of the body, get it assembled and get it ready for Rego, which of course I'm really looking forward to. This is always the fun bit, putting a car back together. And I've actually spent quite a bit of time making sure that these guards fit the body shell properly. I'll explain a little bit more in a moment. I'll just get this guard safe so it doesn't fall on the floor and damage this wonderful paint. Right, come in, I'll show you what I've done. What I like to do with any car that I resurrect or restore is get the panel gaps nice and even, nice and tight. On these Holden Commodores back in the day, 40 years ago, the VBs in particular had really wide gaps. They were pretty crook. This is a VC. As Holden made these cars over the months, they actually got better at assembling them. But look, what I like to do is start, obviously I can't adjust the rear quarter panel, but what I do is actually move the back door back to sharpen up, to narrow the gap there, and then I'll move the front door back to match the gap there and make sure the window frames are right. These Commodores don't have adjustable door hinges, so what is required to move the doors along the car is one of these. It actually, you've got to bend the door hinges to make the doors fit the car. A lot of show car guys will actually add metal to the edge of the doors to sharpen up the gaps even more. Obviously I'm not going to do that with this car, but I do like to have nice even gaps. I do like to have nice sharp gaps. And yeah, for me it just makes the car look a little bit better, and it's obviously something that I can be proud of. Okay, I've got the doors on the car nice and square. These Commodores quite often suffer from a bit of a misfit over the top of the wheel arch. So here's a little trick that I learnt years ago. Screwdriver, piece of fuel line on it, hang it in place, slam the door. It looks brutal, but it'll actually pop that back edge of the door out, level with the edge of the guard. Job done. Of course, the final step with the alignment of the car is putting the front guard on. These Commodores quite often suffer from a horrible big gap there to the edge of the plenum. So what I like to do is muck around for a few hours to sharpen up that gap as much as we can. That gap is actually a lot tighter than the other gaps in the car because it's not an opening panel, if that makes sense. But look, aligning the guards to the edge of the bonnet, aligning the guards to the tops of the headlights, and aligning the guards to the front edge of the door just helps to sharpen up the appearance of these early girls. It's something that I reckon it's worth doing.
For it.
I'm making the panel here move by bending this down here. And what I'm sort of trying to show you there is that a panel, you need to treat a panel as a whole entity, if that makes sense. Alignment down here can affect the body alignment back here. For instance, a little bit of accident damage or maybe a bumper bar that's pulling the panel here can make it change shape down here. So little things like that, keep them in mind when you're trying to align the car. I've got my mobile windscreen bloke Mark to come out during the week and fit a new windscreen to the car. I kicked the old screen out a couple of weeks ago. There was a little bit of rust underneath the window rubber, a very, very minor amount for these early Commodores. Anyway, I welded that up, and then I treated the windscreen aperture, the edge, with primer and some paint before a brand new windscreen went in. Something else that makes a big difference to these early Commodores and a lot of other cars is replacing or reapplying the adhesive between the boot skin and its frame. These cars, the old sealer just dries out and falls out, which means that the boot lid skin actually clangs a lot. It makes a lot of noise as the car's travelling along the road. So using a product like this Sikaflex to reapply, to re-glue the boot skin to the chassis makes the car a lot quieter. And while I'm here, I'll show you my lovely boot floor. I've painted it and I've replaced the rubber mat, so it's job done.
That?
That's a lot of noise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should I reuse the old indicator?
Definitely.
Okay, I will. I hate these things. I hate them. I love them, but I hate them.
That Commodore.
Yeah, you know what? That's why. Because I test fitted that. I didn't take it off, did I? You idiot. So that's much easier. I told you. Oh, nearly. Maybe not. Whoops. Got him. Come back to that. Oh, nice. Parker?
No.
No. Alright.
Headlight.
Oh, beauty. Good. It's alive. Careful, don't scratch the paint. Right. Starting to look like a car again, isn't it? Oh. Ha! I've got bits of old grill still there. Remember when it fell off the car?
Oh yeah. And cut the grill falling off.
What I want to do is check the automatic transmission fluid later. I want to. I'll have to get another grill for the car. Magnificent. It's got all its pins. It's got all its little screw holes. It's too good for this car. Way too nice. Mechanical makeover done. I've done the brakes, I've fixed up the engine, I've done most of the body work. All that's left to do on this car now is to freshen up the interior, and then it's going to be ready for the road, and I can't wait. Anyway, I'm GT, I'll see you next time. That's rubbish, isn't it? But that's how they work.